The boy who wanted to learn how to shudder. Once upon a time, there lived a father who had two teenage sons. The older son was smart and reasonable and could do anything, but the younger son was stupid and could neither learn anything nor understand anything. And whenever people saw the younger son, they said, "There's a boy who will certainly give his father some trouble." Whenever there was anything that needed to be done, it was always the older son who had to do it, because the younger son was too stupid. But the older son had one weakness. He was afraid of dark places. Whenever the father needed him to go out at night and get something, especially if it involved going past a graveyard, the older son would say, "Oh no, father, I won't go there. It makes me shudder." To shudder means to shake with fear. But the younger son would sit in the corner and listen to his father and brother talk, and he could not understand what they meant. "My brother is always saying, 'It makes me shudder, it makes me shudder,'" thought the youngest son to himself. "But it doesn't make me shudder. I wonder why. Maybe it's because I don't understand anything." One day, the father said to the younger son, "Listen to me, son. You are growing up now, and you are getting tall and strong. You should start doing some work. Look at your brother. Your brother works very hard every day, but you do nothing. You should learn how to do a job." "Well, father," said the younger son, "I am quite willing to learn something, if indeed I can do it. I would very much like to learn how to shudder. I don't understand that at all." The older brother heard this and smiled to himself. "How stupid my younger brother is," he thought to himself. "He will never be good for anything as long as he lives." The father sighed and answered the younger son, "Someday you will learn how to shudder, but you will never be able to get a job by shuddering. You must learn something useful." Shortly after that, a priest came to the house on a visit. A priest is someone who works in a church. The father complained to the priest for a long time about his youngest son and how the boy knew nothing and could learn nothing. "My son is so stupid," said the father. "Listen to this. I asked him what kind of job he wanted to learn, and he said that he wanted to learn to shudder." "If that's all he wants to learn," said the priest, "then he can learn that with me. Send him to me, and I will teach him to shudder." The father was glad to do this because he thought, maybe the priest can teach him something useful. And so the youngest son was sent to stay with the priest in the church. Now, this church had a tower, and at the top of the tower there was a bell. A tower is a high part of a building. The boy was given the job of ringing the bell. After 2 days, the priest woke the boy up at midnight and told him to go to the top of the tower and ring the bell. This was because the priest had a plan to scare the boy and make him shudder. While the boy was going up to ring the bell, the priest covered himself in white in order to look just like a ghost. When the boy got to the top of the tower and was just about to ring the bell, he saw a person all in white standing next to the bell. This person was really the priest in disguise. "Who are you?" said the boy, but the man in white did not say anything. "You must give me an answer," said the boy, "or you must go away. You should not be in the church at night like this." The priest, however, still said nothing. He was trying to make the boy think he was a ghost. The boy called out a second time, "What do you want? You must give me an answer, or I will throw you down the stairs." The priest thought, "He won't really throw me down the stairs. He can't really be that bad." So the priest still stayed quiet. The boy called out to him a third time, "Speak, this is your last chance." But the priest still said nothing. So the boy ran over and pushed the priest down the stairs. The priest fell down 10 steps and landed on the bottom of the stairs, where he lay still and did not move. The boy rang the bell and then went back to bed. In the morning, the priest's wife was worried because the priest was nowhere to be found. She asked the boy, "Do you know where my husband is? I can't find him anywhere. He climbed up the bell tower with you last night. Did you see him?" "I don't think so," answered the boy, "but I did meet a strange man in the bell tower last night. He wouldn't say anything, so I thought he must be a bad man, and I threw him down the stairs. Go and see if that was your husband. I will be very sorry if it turns out that it was him." The woman ran up the stairs and found her husband lying in the corner. He was moaning. Moaning means to make a low sound when you are in pain, and he had broken his leg. She carried her husband down the stairs and put him in his bed. Then she hurried to see the boy's father. "Your boy," she said, "is terrible. He has thrown my husband down the stairs and made him break his leg. Take that terrible boy out of my house." The poor father was very worried, and he went and scolded his boy. To scold means to speak angrily to someone because they have done something wrong. "Why do you do such awful things?" the father asked the boy. "Father," said the boy, "listen to me. I didn't do anything wrong. He was standing there in the middle of the night like a bad person. I told him 3 times to either speak or go away." "Ah," said the father, "I can see that you will always cause me trouble and make me unhappy. I want you to go away. I don't want to see you anymore." "If that is what you want, Father, then I will do it," said the boy. "I only hope that I can learn how to shudder. If I can learn how to shudder, then everything will be all right." "Learn whatever you want," said the father. "I don't care anymore. Here are 50 gold coins. Now go out into the wide world and don't tell anyone where you come from or who your father is, because I am ashamed of you." To be ashamed of someone means to feel embarrassed about a family member because they have done something bad. "Yes, Father, if that is what you want, I will do it," said the boy. And so the boy put the 50 gold coins into his pocket and walked away. As the boy was walking down the road, he kept saying to himself, "I wish I could shudder. I wish I could shudder." A man was walking next to the boy and heard the boy talking to himself. When they had walked a little further down the road, the man pointed to the gallows. Gallows is a high structure made of wood. In the old times, they used to kill criminals by tying ropes around their necks and hanging them from the gallows. "Look," said the man, "there is a gallows. And on the gallows there are 7 dead men hanging with a rope around their neck. Do you want to shudder? Sit under the 7 dead men and wait until night comes. You will surely shudder then." "Really? Is that all?" asked the boy. "That is easier than I thought. Okay, I will sit under the dead men all night. And if I can learn to shudder, then I will give you my 50 gold coins. Just come back and see me in the morning, and if I have learned to shudder, the coins are yours." So the boy went to the gallows and sat under the dead bodies and waited for night. Once night came, the boy felt cold, so he made a fire. However, at midnight, a cold wind came, and the boy could not get warm, even with the fire. The wind also blew the dead men who were hanging from the gallows, and they swung back and forth in the wind. If I am cold sitting here right next to the fire, then those guys hanging up in the gallows must really be cold, thought the boy. He felt sorry for the dead men, and he put up a ladder, climbed up the gallows, and untied all the ropes, one after another, until he had brought all 7 dead bodies down to the ground. The boy stirred the fire and blew into it to make it grow bigger, and set the 7 dead bodies around the fire so that they could get warm. But the 7 dead men just sat there without moving. As the fire grew, the boy yelled to the dead men, "Be careful, or the fire will burn you." But the dead men didn't move. Then their clothes caught on fire. But the dead men still didn't move. This made the boy angry. And he said, "If you won't be careful, then I can't help you. I don't want you to catch fire and burn up." So the boy hung all the dead men back up on the gallows again. Then he sat down by the fire and fell asleep. The next morning, the man came to the boy to get the 50 gold coins. "Well," he said, "did you learn how to shudder?" "No," said the boy. "How could I learn anything? Those men up there didn't tell me anything at all. And they were so stupid, they didn't even know how to protect themselves from the fire." When the man heard this, he realized he wouldn't get the 50 gold coins from the boy. So he just walked away and said to himself, "Never have I met such a strange boy." As for the boy, he continued walking down the road. And as he walked, he said to himself, "I wish I could shudder. Oh, I wish I could shudder." A cart driver was walking behind the boy. A cart is a vehicle with wheels that is pulled by an animal and used for carrying goods. A cart driver is a person whose job it is to drive the cart. The cart driver heard the boy talking to himself and asked him, "Who are you?" "I don't know," replied the boy. Then the cart driver asked him, "Where do you come from?" "I don't know," said the boy. "Who is your father?" asked the cart driver. "I'm not allowed to say," answered the boy. "What are you always saying to yourself?" asked the cart driver. "Oh," said the boy, "I want to be able to shudder, but no one can teach me how." "Stop talking foolishly," said the cart driver. "Come, walk with me. I will take you to a place that is perfect for shuddering." The boy went with the cart driver, and that evening they came to an inn where they decided to stay for the night. An inn is a small hotel in the countryside. When they walked into the inn, the boy said quite loudly, "I wish I could shudder. Oh, I wish I could shudder." When the innkeeper heard this, he laughed. An innkeeper is a person who owns an inn. "If you want to shudder, I know where you can go," he said. But the innkeeper's wife became worried. "No, don't tell him," she said. "Too many people have already lost their lives at this place." So the innkeeper was quiet. But the boy said, "I want to learn how to shudder. That is why I left home. I don't care how dangerous it is." And he kept asking and asking until at last the innkeeper gave in and told the boy that there was a haunted castle not far away from the inn. Haunted means a place where ghosts live. The haunted castle was very scary. There were great treasures in the haunted castle, but they were guarded by evil ghosts. Treasure is a collection of gold, silver, jewelry, and other valuable objects. However, if someone could stay in the haunted castle for 3 nights, then all the treasure would be theirs, and they would become a rich man. Moreover, the king had promised that whoever stayed in the haunted castle for 3 nights and got the treasure could marry his daughter. And the king had the most beautiful daughter in the land. Many people had entered the haunted castle to try to win the treasure and the princess, but none of them had come out again. "I will do it," said the boy. "I will stay in the haunted castle for 3 nights and get the treasure and marry the princess."